Welcome, friends. In this lesson, the students are going to be working on determining even and odd numbers. Okay, so our standard that we're working on, we're switching gears a little bit, MA3 AR for algebraic reasoning 3, which is identifying numerical patterns, including multiplicative patterns. Obviously, we're just going to be focusing on numerical patterns. The benchmark is 3.1, determine and explain whether a whole number 1 to 1,000 is even or odd. You may say, wait, we've been working on the number sense and operation with place value. Why are we switching gears? Well, the benchmark clarifications on this one state that the instruction also includes determining and explaining using place value and recognizing patterns. So we'll be looking at place value here. All right, so we'll go over if I was introducing this to students, I would go over with the definition. An even number is a number that can be decomposed into two equal parts. An odd number cannot be decomposed into two equal parts. Please don't automatically start with the rule that if it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, it's even. If it ends in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, it's odd. Because we want students to have the conceptual understanding of why that pattern is true. So please don't start with the pattern. We want to start with the definition. Now, great time to pull out your base 10 blocks. I do more in the parent version and the student version if you want to check that out, of actually taking the base 10 blocks and decomposing some of these numbers and showing how we can write it as two equal numbers, equal whole numbers. 124 can be written as 62 plus 62. 128, we can write it as 64 plus 64. 115, well, again, work with the base 10 blocks. See how close can we get those numbers. We can get them really close, but not the same. We can break it down to 58 and 57. 107, again, we can get them really close, but not the same. 104 plus 103. So in spending some time here doing this, you have a chance to do two things. First of all, really reinforcing that conceptual understanding of what an even and an odd number is. We've been doing even and odd numbers for a long time. It seems super simple to us to just look at the last digit, but this is brand new for the students. So we want to have that conceptual understanding. Number two, this is going to be a fabulous opportunity to review decomposition of numbers. If you've got some students that are still struggling with that, what a fantastic way to build in some review of a prior concept that we've worked with. So this is also going to be really a little precursor to division when we're trying to make two equal groups. So there's so many good reasons to spend some time here just having them try to make those equal groups using the base 10 blocks. Now we move into, after we talked about that, then we move into the patterns with even and odd numbers. Now I would either have a list of even and odd numbers or ask students to give you some even and odd numbers and ask them, what are the patterns that they notice? See if your students can come up with the patterns. Of course, we know that even numbers will have 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 in the ones place, and odd numbers have the 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 in the ones place. So then as students work on their homework and they're looking at the numbers, definitely look for both strategies. Look for students that just looked at the place value, but also look for students who can also tell us that, for example, I know that 210 is even because I can write it as 105 plus 105. So look for those strategies as your students are working on. I love the true false questions that you can do with this. I know there's some in the book, fun to practice with students. Is it true that every digit in an even number has to be even? Of course, we know it's not, but that's a great question for students to have posed to them. Well, how could we write that as a true statement? Or give them true statements. How could you write them as a false statement? All of those things are great ways to check the student's conceptual understanding of this content, which is what we're all about building. All right, thanks my friends for joining. Again, more in depth in the parent video if you're interested in checking that out. See you in another one.